अल्टरनेट सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी अवेलेबल है, पीएनजी वगैरह, वहाँ पर उस पर शिफ्ट होए. सो दीज आर द अफवाहों से बचें और पैनिक बुकिंग से भी बचें. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Sujata. I would now request Secretary Shipping for his updates, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll start with the Shivalik LPG carrier, which sailed from Persian Gulf, crossed the Strait of Hormuz, and headed towards India. Will be reaching today around 5 o'clock in the evening, maybe after an hour or so. And before its arrival, the documentation, priority berthing, everything has been arranged at the port so that there is no delay in discharge of cargo by this vessel. All Indian seafarers in Persian Gulf area are safe. No incident has been reported in last 24 hours. And we are in the ministry and in the DG shipping, we are keeping continuous watch on the situation. We are in touch with each vessel and its crew. 22 vessels, as was reported on Saturday also. 22 Indian flagged vessels with 611 Indian seafarers remain in the west of the Strait of Hormuz in Persian Gulf. And DG Shipping continues to closely monitor the situation in coordination with ship owners, the recruitment and service licensee, and Indian missions in the region. The Indian flag vessel Jag Ladki, which sailed from UAE on 14th of March, it is carrying 80,000, about 81,000 of Murban crude oil, is safely en route to India. And it has this vessel and all Indian seafarers are on board are safe. They'll be reaching tomorrow at Mundra port. Since the activation of DG Shipping Control Room, the Directorate has in the past 48 hours, I'm giving figure for the last 48 hours, about 310 calls and about 600 emails have been received. And in the last 24 hours, just a breakup of this number, in the last 24 hours, the number has been 53 calls and about 150 emails. The DG Shipping, as regulator of maritime sector of India, has facilitated safe repatriation of 286 Indian seafarers from the Gulf region so far. And this includes 33 sea repatriations in the last 48 hours. And in the past 24 hours, the number has been 10 repatriations from various airports and regional locations across the Gulf region. Major ports of India are closely monitoring vessel movement and cargo operations in view of evolving maritime situation and providing all possible support. Some of the measures, the relief measures through policy and through initiatives of the ports, I have already narrated in the earlier briefings. One example I'll cite today. They are maintaining close coordination with the customs and other stakeholders to facilitate resolution of operational issues. For example, the Jawaharlal Nehru Port is providing temporary storage of laden containers destined for Middle East as transshipment containers. And that port has also provided 100% rebate on ground rent or dwell time charges and about 80% rebate on reefer container plug-in charges up to 15 days for containers originating from GNPA. Approximately 2,600 containers have been shipped to the Middle East during the last 5 days from this port. Today also I had a review with all the ports, all major ports, and some of the stakeholders, including the EXIM associations, groups. And what I learned from that, there is no congestion has been reported at any major port. And export-bound containers at GNPA have reduced from 5,600 to 3,900, which I stated earlier. The ports are also providing safe anchorage areas for loaded vessels bound for the Gulf that are currently unable to transit due to the prevailing situation. And also an interministerial group has been constituted under the Directorate General of Shipping with members from customs, ports, and other stakeholders. And the ministry continues to closely monitor the evolving maritime situation in coordination with the Ministry of External Affairs, Indian missions abroad, shipping companies, and other maritime stakeholders. This is in order to ensure the safety and welfare of Indian seafarers while maintaining continuity of maritime trade and port operations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now over to Randirji for updates from MEA. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. Let me update you with some of the developments where MEA is involved. First on Iran, as you know, we have our Indian nationals in that country. Over 550 Indian nationals in Iran have crossed over into Armenia through the land border. We also have had approximately 90 people or 90 of our nationals from Iran cross over into Azerbaijan through the land border. These movements were facilitated by our embassy in Tehran. They helped them with visas as also with immigration formalities where required. In this group of 550 people that I mentioned who have crossed from Iran into Armenia, we also have 284 people who had gone there to Iran on pilgrimage. These people are there right now in both these countries. Some of them have already returned and others would be returning in the next few days or so. Our embassy in Tehran, in spite of all the difficulties, continues to be fully functional. Over the last few days, they have also been able to relocate students who were outside Tehran to cities which are safer for them. जैसा कि आप लोग जानते हैं कि ईरान में भारतीय समुदाय के लोग में कुछ नाविक लोग भी हैं और साथ ही साथ मछुआरे समुदाय के लोग भी हैं। इनके कंपनियों के साथ हमारी लगातार बातचीत होती रहती है, यानी कि हमारे एम्बेसी की, राजदूतावास की बातचीत होती रहती है ताकि हम उनका देखभाल, उनकी भलाई सुनिश्चित कर सकें। सभी भारतीय नागरिकों का से हमारा अनुरोध है कि जो एडवाइजरी हमारे राजदूतावास ने निकाला है उसको देखें और उस पर अमल करें। और जहाँ तक हमारा भारत सरकार की बात है, हम लोग प्रतिबद्ध हैं अपने देशवासी जो वहाँ रहते हैं ईरान में, उनकी देखभाल के लिए, उनकी भलाई के लिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Asim ji, would you like to add something?
Good afternoon. The Ministry of External Affairs continues to closely monitor the evolving situation in West Asia and the Gulf region. The safety, well-being and security of the Indian community across the region remains our highest priority. The Ministry's Special Control Room continues to function for addressing queries from Indian nationals and families. We are also in constant touch with the state governments and union territories to coordinate our efforts. Our missions and posts across the region are working continuously, operating 24/7 helplines, maintaining regular contact with a large number of Indian community organizations and associations spread across the region, and issuing updated advisories to keep our citizens informed. They also remain in close touch with the local governments. We are extending all support to stranded Indians and short-term visitors, including assistance for visas, logistical support where required, and facilitating transit arrangements. We are also closely coordinating with the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways to render all assistance to the seafarers in the region. An update on the status of flights and airspace. Since February 28, around 220,000 passengers from the region have returned to India. As far as UAE is concerned, as per information put out by the UAE authorities, there is a gradual resumption of operations from Dubai International Airport that were temporarily suspended today morning from passenger safety perspective. Indian and UAE carriers also continue to operate limited flights from other airports like Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah and Fujairah in UAE based on operational and safety considerations. As per available information, more than 45 flights are planned for various destinations in India today. All passengers can check revised and updated flight schedules directly with respected airlines. In case of any assistance, they can also approach our mission in Abu Dhabi and our consulate in Dubai through the 24/7 helplines. In Saudi Arabia, flights are operating from various airports to destinations in India. Flights are also operating from Oman to various destinations in India. Qatar airspace is partially open, with Qatar Airways operating flights to India. Today and tomorrow, 3 flights are expected to operate to different destinations in India. Kuwait airspace has been closed since 28 February 2026. Special non-scheduled commercial flights by Jazeera Airways of Kuwait are expected to operate soon to India from the Al Qaisuma International Airport in Saudi Arabia. For Indian nationals in Bahrain and Iraq, where airspace is closed, transit through Saudi Arabia is being facilitated. An update on the incident in Oman. On March 13th, in an attack in Sohar city in Oman, unfortunately, 2 Indian nationals had lost their lives. The Embassy of India in Muscat is in constant touch with the families of the deceased Indian nationals and is coordinating with concerned Omani authorities. Their mortal remains are expected to be repatriated to India soon. The embassy also remains in close touch with the hospital authorities and the company to monitor the condition of the injured Indian nationals. None of the Indian nationals are seriously injured. On the incident in which Safe Sea Vishnu was impacted off the coast of Iraq, our mission team has been on ground in Basra to assist for the early return of the 15 Indian crew members of Safe Sea Vishnu who were safely evacuated and are currently residing in a hotel in Basra. They are also coordinating with the concerned Iraqi authorities for early return of the rescued Indian crew members and for early repatriation of the mortal remains of the Indian national who unfortunately lost his life. Thank you.
Thank you, Simji. And now we will take questions, please. 142, 22, and 45. We'll take a bunch of 3 questions together and then we'll go. The third row, please. Third row. टू नंबर को दे दीजिए.
मेरा सवाल सुजाता मैम से है. मैं पीयूष पांडे हूँ, TV9 भारतवर्ष से. मैम, ये कॉमर्शियल सिलेंडर के लिए राज्य सरकारों को प्राथमिकता के आधार पर वितरण की जिम्मेदारी दी गई है. ये प्राथमिकता किस आधार पर तय की जा रही है और क्या कोई स्टेटस राज्य सरकारों की ओर से दिया गया है कि कितना कॉमर्शियल सिलेंडर अभी तक उनकी ओर से जारी किया गया है? दूसरा सवाल मेरा राजेश जी से है. सर, जो वेसल्स वहाँ पर हैं, आपने बताया कि पूरी तरह से सुरक्षित हैं. क्या जो 22 वेसल्स हैं उनमें से और भी भारत की ओर आने के लिए अब तैयार हैं या कब तक उनकी ये गुंजाइश है कि वो आएंगे भारत?
45.
Prakash Pedashi from ET Now. So what is the current status of domestic LPG production on the back of LPG control order?
And 22.
Dhairya Maheshwari from Sputnik, sir. I have a question for Jaiswal, sir. Sir, the US side has been appealing to countries to bring together the warships to man the Strait of Hormuz. So, sir, two-part question. Has India been approached to contribute warships for this proposed effort? And if you could say, what's India's overall stance on the navigation through Strait of Hormuz? Because we also saw the comment by EM Jaishankar today to FT that, India is involved in bilateral talks with Iran. So, yeah, thank you, sir.
We'll start with PNG replies first.
See, as far as the commercial cylinder prioritization is concerned, there are certain sectors like education and hospital which have been prioritized by Government of India. Then इट हैज़ बीन लेफ्ट टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, ये स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स पे छोड़ा गया है कि उनके एरिया में क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है, किसको पहले देने की ज़रूरत है, उसी के हिसाब से डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज़ हैपनिंग. दैट इज़ वन. As far as the, yes, we do collect the state-wise details also, and we have that. The next is the domestic production. So, हमारी refineries में, as I already said, they are operating at full capacity, and there is a increase in the domestic production of LPG, and now it is almost around 36% of what we were producing before 5th March. Thank you.
पिछले 5 दिनों में कितने जहाज़ों ने स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज पार किया है, ये सवाल था. जैसा मैंने पहले भी ब्रीफिंग में बताया, 2 भारतीय जहाज, इंडियन फ्लैग वेसल्स, शिवालिक और नंदा देवी, दोनों एलपीजी कैरियर्स हैं. इन्होंने 13 तारीख को अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट की पर्शियन गल्फ से. 14 मार्च की सुबह, देर रात या सुबह, स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज का जो सकरा मार्ग है उसको पार किया, सुरक्षित रूप से पार किया. और जैसा मैंने अभी बताया, इसमें से पहली वेसल है शिवालिक, जो कि आज करीब 5 बजे, आपसे करीब 1 घंटे बाद, वो मुंद्रा पोर्ट पे पहुंचेगी. और वहाँ पे उसके कार्गो को तुरंत डिस्चार्ज करने के लिए एडवांस में व्यवस्था कर ली गई है. जो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन वर्क है, प्रायोरिटी बर्थिंग है और रिसीविंग, जो कार्गो का रिसीविंग होगा, उसका सारा अरेंजमेंट पहले से कर लिया गया है, जिससे कम से कम समय लगे कार्गो के डिस्चार्ज में. दूसरा प्रश्न था कि जो 22 जहाज हैं जो पर्शियन गल्फ में हैं, स्टेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज के वेस्ट में हैं, उनके संदर्भ में था, वो कब तक आएंगे या क्या प्लान है. इस वक्त मेरे पास इंफॉर्मेशन, जैसे ही इंफॉर्मेशन मेरे पास होगी इस संदर्भ में, मैं आपके साथ साझा करूंगा. नहीं, एक मुंद्रा और कल आएगा नंदा देवी, वो कांडला पोर्ट के एक पार्ट पे आएगा, कांडला पोर्ट पे आएगा. मैं उसके विषय में आपको सूचित करूंगा जैसे वो अपडेटेड इन्फॉर्मेशन मैं दूंगा जब कल.
I'll address the 2 questions together of Dhairya and our friend here. We are aware of this particular matter being discussed by several countries. We have not yet discussed it in bilateral setting. इस मुद्दे पे जो आपने मुद्दे ध्यान, जिस पर आपने प्रश्न किया, उस पर काफ़ी चर्चाएं चल रही हैं अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कई एक देशों के बीच में. जहां तक हम लोग की बात है, हमारी द्विपक्षीय तौर पे ये बातचीत अभी नहीं हुई है इस मुद्दे पे.
Thank you. And now 270.
They also had a question about the navigation through Hormuz. On Saturday, I had commented on this particular issue. The situation remains there. We are in talks, so we continue with our discussions with several stakeholders in this regard. External Affairs Minister, in his interview also has spoken about it, so I would refer you to them. Thank you.
We'll take some questions on the right side. 141, 185, 279. On that.
My extended question is to Sujata ma'am. Are we looking at any timeline as far as the entire LPG crisis is concerned, because it's a matter of grave concern for the public at large? What is the timeline that we're looking at this entire shortage? And is there any alternative arrangements also being made as far as, you know, non-Hormuz supply is concerned?
मैम, मैं ब्रह्म प्रकाश हूँ जी न्यूज़ से. मेरा सवाल है एलपीजी को लेकर, जो अभी सुजाता जी बता रहे हैं कि डोमेस्टिक कंज्यूमर्स के लिए जो सप्लाई हो रही है नॉर्मल है, बीते कई दिनों से आप कह रहे हैं. लेकिन मेरा सवाल यह है मैम कि हम बीते कई दिनों से फील्ड में देख रहे हैं तो लोगों के बीच मारामारी, बहुत सारे लोग कह रहे हैं कि हेल्पलाइन नंबर पर नंबर ही नहीं लग रहे हैं. अभी हम पार्लियामेंट के भीतर भी कई लोग ट्राई कर रहे थे, हेल्पलाइन नंबर नहीं लग रहे हैं, कट जा रहे हैं. तो क्या आपकी जो ऑयल कंपनियां हैं वो इस सिचुएशन को मैनेज नहीं कर पा रही हैं? क्योंकि रियल स्थिति यही है, कोई हेल्पलाइन नंबर काम नहीं करता, बहुत सारे लोग शिकायत कर रहे हैं. तो क्या स्थिति है इसको लेकर? और एक सवाल पोर्ट मिनिस्ट्री से कि जो आ रहे हैं आपके जो आपने बताया 22 हैं, तो उसमें से कितने में जो है एलपीजी है और कितने दिन में वो भारत की तरफ आ रहे हैं? थैंक यू।
नमस्कार, मैं प्रदीप हूँ टोटल न्यूज़ से। मेरा सवाल ये है आपसे, पेट्रोलियम मंत्रालय ने जो अभी तक कोशिश की है, अलग अलग जो यहाँ पर ऑयल कंपनियां हैं और ख़ासतौर से इंडियन की बात करें तो उनकी बहुत शिकायतें ये आ रही हैं कि जो उनके कस्टमर केयर नंबर्स जैसे का जिक्र किया, मैं खुद उनका उपभोक्ता हूँ, लंबे समय से डीएसी नंबर मिलने के बावजूद उन्होंने सिलेंडर सप्लाई नहीं किए हैं। कई इलाकों में ऐसी शिकायतें उनकी तरफ से हैं। इस पर क्या एक्शन आपका मंत्रालय ले रहा है? दूसरा, शिपिंग मंत्रालय से राजेश जी मेरा सवाल ये है आपसे कि अभी तक जो जहाज आ रहे हैं उनका तो ब्यौरा दिया जा रहा है, लेकिन ये परिस्थिति जो जिस तरीके से युद्ध खिंच रहा है ये लंबा खिंचेगा ऐसा लगता है। तो क्या ये मान के चले सिर्फ निकालने की प्राथमिकता है, वहाँ पर भेजेंगे तो जहाज ऐसी परिस्थितियाँ बनती नहीं है, तो कब तक ये पूरी तरीके से आप ये उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि हमारे सारे जहाज निकल सकते हैं?
देखिए, ये हम सभी को पता है कि दिस इज़ अ वेरी अनयूजुअल सिचुएशन और जो भी स्थिति है वो चिंताजनक है और ये इस बात से भी स्पष्ट होता है कि हमने जो डोमेस्टिक हाउस होल्ड है उनको सप्लाई के लिए प्रायोरिटाइज किया है, जिसकी वजह से कमर्शियल सप्लाई एलपीजी की कमर्शियल सप्लाई अफेक्ट भी हुई है। और क्योंकि लोग अफेक्ट हो रहे थे इसलिए सरकार ने ये निर्णय लिया कि वहाँ पर भी कुछ कम से कम कुछ रिलीज कर दिया जाए ताकि वहाँ पर भी काम चलता रहे। तो ये स्थिति हमारे सामने है। और जहाँ तक डिमांड सप्लाई मैनेजमेंट की बात है तो जहाँ वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रोक्योर एलपीजी फ्रॉम वेयर एवर इट इज़ पॉसिबल। सो जिस स्तर पर जो भी कदम उठाया जा सकता है वो उठाया जा रहा है। डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन को इंक्रीज करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। इसके साथ ही डिमांड मैनेजमेंट करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, जैसे कि अर्बन एरिया में डिलीवरी से बुकिंग का टाइम पीरियड मिनिमम 25 दिन कर दिया गया है। रूरल एरिया में यही टाइम पीरियड 45 डेज कर दिया गया है। ऑल्टरनेट फ्यूल्स की तरफ भी लोगों को मोड़ने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। तो एक फ्रंट नहीं, कई तरह से इस प्रॉब्लम को टैकल करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। जैसा कि आपने कहा कि कुछ हेल्पलाइन नंबर्स के बारे में, इनफैक्ट कल हमारे बहुत सारे जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरशिप्स थे वो वर्क कर रहे थे। जनरली संडे को दुकान बंद होती है उनकी, लेकिन कल संडे होने के बावजूद भी बहुत सारे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ने अपनी दुकान खोली थी और वहाँ और एलपीजी सिलेंडर डिलीवर भी हुए हैं। डीएसी कोड ये हमारी दृष्टि में नहीं आया है। आपका जो भी स्पेसिफिक केस हो कृपया हमारे साथ शेयर करें, वी विल डेफिनेटली लुक इनटू दैट। हेल्पलाइंस के बारे में शुरू में दिक्कत आई थी, लेकिन उसके बाद कॉल सेंटर्स को, हेल्पलाइंस को सबको स्ट्रेंथन किया गया है। कॉल सेंटर्स में लगभग 400 सीट कर दी गई हैं। नंबर ऑफ टेलीफोन लाइन्स हैव इंक्रीज टू मोर देन 660। सो वर्क इज हैपनिंग। इनफ्लो इज वेरी वेरी हैवी, बट इन स्पाइट ऑफ दैट, इनफैक्ट आपने मेरी प्रेजेंटेशन में नोट किया होगा कि अब ऑनलाइन बुकिंग हैज इंक्रीज टू 90% yesterday। तो ऑनलाइन बुकिंग में भी इंक्रीज हो रही है। सो सिस्टम इज वर्किंग, इज गियरिंग अप। थैंक यू।
जो दूसरा प्रश्न था 22 वेसल्स के आने के विषय में, उसका जवाब मैंने अभी कुछ क्षण पहले ही दिया है। इस संदर्भ में जैसे ही सूचना मेरे पास होगी मैं आपके साथ साझा करूंगा। जो पहला प्रश्न था कि जो 22 वेसल हैं उनमें उनका ब्रेकअप, ये भी मैंने शनिवार की ब्रीफिंग में बताया था, मैं इसको दोबारा बताता हूँ। इसमें एलपीजी के 6 टैंकर हैं जो लोडेड हैं। फिर इसके अलावा एलएनजी, क्रूड ऑयल, केमिकल एंड प्रोडक्ट्स टैंकर, कंटेनर शिप, बल्क कैरियर एंड ड्रेजर, ये ब्रेकअप है वेसल्स का। 3 वेसल्स ड्राई डॉक में हैं। ड्राई डॉक मतलब रेगुलर मेंटेनेंस, पीरियोडिक मेंटेनेंस में, और एक एम्प्टी बैलास्ट है। इट मीन लोडेड कार्गो नहीं है, वो एम्प्टी वहाँ से ट्रैवल करेगा। ये 22 का ब्रेकअप है।
I have already answered the questions, ma'am, so over to you.
Okay, now 67, 238, 76 in the center. 1, 2, 3. 67.
Sapna Das, CNBC TV 18, thank you so much. Two questions here. One, I just wanted to ask Sujata ma'am, there have been reports on the fact that, you know, since the retail side of the fuel prices is capped or other kind of regulated, looking at the current environment, is there any, you know, kind of a move in terms of capping the refinery prices as well? There have been some reports on that front, like a clarification. Second, also wanted to understand, the Energy Secretary has said that, you know, this war is likely to continue for a few weeks, few more weeks, quote unquote. So overall, what's the preparedness level in terms of gas especially?
We'll take 2, 3 together. Uske baad.
Hi, ma'am. Hi, sir. Siddhant from Beyond. My question to you, sir, Rani sir. What kind of conversation the EM is having with his global counterparts? We saw he's speaking to the Emirati and the Saudi foreign minister. He has thanked the Armenian foreign minister for evacuation. He is in Brussels as well. So how much the diaspora, BRICS and other issues are there?
I'm Uddhav from the print. My question to Sujata ma'am is that, ma'am here. Yeah, my question to Sujata ma'am is that what is the current India's strategic gas reserve with regards to LPG? And given this situation, is there any plans underway or on war footing to expand that capacity?
The first question regarding capping of the refinery price, no such decision has been taken by government as on today. Regarding LPG management, I have given a detailed answer just now. Regarding LNG, we have no shortage, and the situation is quite comfortable. Regarding LPG strategic reserve, I will not be able to share any information right now. Thank you.
So, Siddhant, you are aware that ever since the onset of this conflict, External Affairs Minister has been in conversation with several of his counterparts from the region and elsewhere. He did have conversation with the Foreign Minister of UAE, as also he has had his conversation with the Foreign Minister of Cyprus. He is presently in Brussels, where he's meeting his EU counterparts. And I'm sure, you know, what's going on in West Asia will be high on the agenda. But we are discussing several issues that we have. All issues of importance, of bilateral importance. We have a large diaspora to take care of. We also have a responsibility on the side of energy security. How do we ensure energy security for our people? So all these issues are being discussed, and we'll keep you informed of the developments ahead. Thank you.
We'll just take the last 3 or 4 questions. 234, 263. That's it.
Good afternoon, sir. Rajesh Roy here from Bloomberg. 2 questions to Randhir, sir. I understand that India usually follows the UN Charter on matter of grave concern, and sending warship is nothing short of that. So how do you see chances of India discussing and honoring US requests to send warships to aid the situation there? Secondly, we have seen Prime Minister speak to Iranian leadership and also EM speak with them, his Iranian counterpart. I'm sure officials at highest level will also be speaking. What is Iran seeking in return for providing India free passage?
2 and then 263.
Sir, I am Deepak. I have one question to Sujata ma'am, next to MEA. Ma'am, government announced, providing additional allocation for kerosene. Has any state taken it, or it's just a contingency? Second to Jaiswal sir, I think you must have also read it by now, that Israeli envoy has said that their cabinet decided this entire attack 2 days after Prime Minister left. So, any comment on that, sir?
263.
Hi sir, this is Thruvak from Business Standard. My question is to Mr. Sinha. First question is that several platforms that track cargo are reporting that there is a congestion issue at two ports primarily in India. That one is Kandla and one is JNPT. And there have also been reports that base freight rates for containers have also increased because of that to the tune of 40% from Nhava Sheva. First, I wanted to understand that in terms of, we've looked at several shipping lines and we've looked at several exporters and bodies who have expressed concerns about the fact that these surcharges are going beyond their reach. Now, in addition to surcharges for which you've already put out an advisory, there is also the fact that base freight rates are also increasing due to several factors. So, one, I wanted to understand that because you also said something on congestion, so just wanted to understand how that lines up with the reports that are coming up from international tracking agencies, and second, on the base rates. And I also wanted to understand, sir, what is the, could you give us an update on the current status of container ship bunkering facilities that we currently have? Or because there's a fuel crisis, are bunkering facilities across ports functioning all right, or if there are any numbers you could share with us?
No, on this bunkering facility for the shipping sector, there has no issue has been reported till now. On the first point about the congestion, we had a meeting at around 12 o'clock. Every day we are meeting. There is an interministerial group which I stated. Today I had discussed with the all major ports, all shipping lines, the groups, the FIO, the container, the freight forwarders, the multimodal transport groups, and the regulator DG Shipping. So congestion and the port chairman, particularly the two ports which you named, Nhava Sheva, which is JNPA, and the Kandla port. And there were many other ports. Congestion has not been reported by any port and by any of the stakeholders. And in my brief also I talked about the numbers. If you look at the numbers, let me go back to that number. I'll read that number also so that at the cost of repetition, let me repeat it. The major ports are closely monitoring vessel movement and cargo operations. And ports have been advised by us, by the ministry, to provide relief measures to all shipping lines and cargo stakeholders in berth charges, berth hire charges, and storage charges. One example which I cited was about JNPA, the direct example coming from JNPA. JNPA is providing temporary storage of laden containers destined for Middle East as transshipment containers, because essentially they are not able to move now because of the situation prevailing there. And the Nhava Sheva port has also provided 100% rebate on ground rent or dwell charges, which is realized by the port, and 80% rebate on reefer container for the refrigerated cargo. These charges used to be waived for the free period was 3 days. Now that period has been increased to 15 days by JNPA and mostly by other ports also, depending on type of cargo they handle. And about the number of containers, about 2,600 containers have been shipped to the Middle East during the last 5 days. So there is actually movement happening. The movement has happened in different parts of the Middle East. So there is no congestion reported on this. At any major port, no congestion has been reported, and export-bound containers at Nhava Sheva port has reduced from 5,600 to 3,900 today. I am giving you the report as on today. Thank you. So this advisory, you said that advisory has been issued to make it transparent, do not make any unreasonable charges, etc. And again, in today's meeting, we have said if there is any specific issue any shipping line is facing, and in fact through this medium I can communicate with them directly, we have requested each shipping line, whether based in India or outside, which is trading in India, if they face any issue specific, please write to us, write to the ministry concerned or the organization concerned, but certainly keep us in the copy. We'll take up with that organization directly that specific issue if there is any.
Sujata.
Regarding the allocation of SKO, मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि ये allocation एक additional fuel option देने के लिए किया गया था और इसमें कई राज्य सरकारों ने अभी already allocation कर भी लिया है. एक नाम जो मुझे अभी याद भी आ रहा है वो बिहार है. So this is done by many states. Thank you.
So Rajesh, coming to your first question, I have taken that question when the gentleman behind you asked me. That is where we are on that particular issue at this point in time. On your second question about the passage and what was exchanged, I think this has been very elaborately spoken on by the External Affairs Minister, and I would like to bring your attention to what he said, that there is a history of engagement of dealing with each other between India and Iran, and that has been the basis of our engagement, and it is not an exchange issue. To the gentleman, your question, see, on 28th of February, on 3rd of March, and thereafter on 9th March, we have elaborated where India stands on this particular issue. We have, and we continue to call for de-escalation, for exercise of restraint, and for countries to adopt the path of dialogue and diplomacy so that there can be an early end to this particular conflict. We've also said that sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected. So that is where we are on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, officers. Thank you so much. I think Sujata will be outside to give you answers. Let's wind this up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The Delhi High Court seeking permanent and mandatory injunction along with damage against several individuals and online platform for allegedly publishing and circulating defamatory